Well, joining me now is CEO of Advantage Travel Partnership, Julia Bue-Said. Morning to you, Julia.
Good morning, Lisa.
Well, officials in Turkey, no doubt, certainly hoping to see a change in the rules. Is it seeming likely to you?
It's always really difficult, isn't it? When we get these review periods, we all get very excited because we're very hopeful and really want these rules to kick in and change the destinations that for so long have been red. So the signs are positive for Turkey in terms of the infection rates. One thing we have learnt, however, over the last few months is not to get our hopes raised, because what we really don't know is all the criteria the government put into the melting pot to effectively come out with the decisions on the traffic light reviews. So we have to just wait and see what will happen.
Are we likely to see any other major changes aside, say, from Turkey? I'm thinking, what about Spain, shifting from amber to green?
Again, really difficult to speculate. There were lots of speculation last time and thankfully Spain stayed amber. But obviously now, if you are fully vaccinated, whether it's amber or green, the rules are the same. So that's a positive that we saw over the last few weeks.
That change then for people, of course, who are double jabbed, it came in a while ago now. So looking at what's happened, what impact would you say that has had, especially on the airline and our very hard hit travel sector in the pandemic? Are more people looking to get away?
It's a really good question. And on the face of it, what it has done is it has given confidence to those that are vaccinated to be able to make a decision about going. However, the reality is what we've seen is bookings are coming in 3-week cycles now. I've been inundated, as have our agents, with customers, worried about the speculation, wanting to know when the review is going to take place, and they're not booking until the review is announced. So whilst in one hand it's increased confidence and people are thinking about it more, what it has done is we've still got this really uncertain process that can't continue like this, and we really cannot have an industry that is waiting every 3 weeks to understand what it can sell or what it can't sell. And in that in-between period, what's happening is people are looking at the speculation, they're changing plans, they're making bookings, they're then cancelling them. It creates so much uncertainty. It's really difficult to manage.
We've talked about perhaps better news being on the horizon for a country like Turkey. I'm thinking, what about some bad news too? The risk of some countries going red, Jamaica, Dominica, St. Lucia?
And I think that's the problem, isn't it? In terms of what we were talking about a second ago, it is right now speculation. And that is why this is really what's stopping people from making that firm commitment to book. And you can imagine today people who have bookings travelling next week, maybe to Jamaica, how they're feeling. So we do have to wait and see. I mean, the one thing I will say is what we have seen is a real increase in people booking through travel agents. So they've got the financial protection. They've got some security that you've got somebody there that can really help them in the event of things changing. And I have to say now that is almost more important than, any other decision a customer is making. Think about who you book with, what you've booked, because that will enable you to change or not change depending on what the situation is, and should give everybody a lot more security in the meantime.
And the lowering of PCR testing costs, is that helping matters?
Again, on the face of it shouldn't it? But the reality is it's so much more complicated than that. The biggest issue we've got is actually, aside from the cost, the feedback we're getting from a lot of customers, and I've travelled a couple of times during the pandemic, so I've seen it myself, it's the pre-departure test that you need to take before returning back home. That really is what is creating huge amounts of uncertainty, and quite clearly what nobody wants is to test positive while they're abroad. But for example, I travelled to Greece last week. I'm fully vaccinated. I didn't have to test. Coming back home, I have to test. So that's the thing that is really causing anxiety. But actually, what we would really urge the government in terms of their impending reviews in the next few weeks, because there is a major review of the whole system happening beginning of October, is to really consider a more proportionate approach for those that are fully vaccinated, so there isn't a need to undertake these onerous and expensive tests when they're travelling.
Listen, you're brave. I'm so anxious I can't even bear the thought of it. But good luck to anybody still hoping to get a trip in this year. Julia, always good to speak with you. Thank you. CEO there of Advantage Travel Partnership, Julia Bue-Said.